Hi there guys, I am the Six Machine and welcome back to another Warhammer video. So very quickly before we begin, I just wanted to quickly address the Warhammer preview issue. If you aren't aware, it looks as though for the next couple of weeks we won't be getting any new pre-orders from Games Workshop. This is to help them deal with a few issues which I imagine they have been having and are continuing to have, which is an incredibly hectic and disrupted shipping schedule over the past year. And to their credit, Games Workshop have been working incredibly hard to continue to get lots of new cool books, models, and even an entirely new edition of 40k to us throughout the whole pandemic. So I do sympathize with them, and I think that this frantic schedule that they have been on has just finally started to catch up with them a little bit. So whether they decided to kind of try and nip this in the bud before it became too much of a problem, or it was starting to overwhelm them, I guess we don't really know. But either way, they have decided to do no pre-orders for a couple of weeks just to help let themselves catch up a little bit. And honestly, I am okay with this. It is a shame, and notably it does mean that the AdMech Codex won't be coming this month like I thought it would, but I do think that it is better for them to take a little step back, get things back in order, rather than risk causing more headaches and more havoc for their production and shipping down the line. I do still think that the AdMech Codex will very likely be out in early May, possibly the first week. And on the plus side, they did promise that in the meantime there will be a lot of new reveals for both 40k and Age of Sigmar, some news about an upcoming Warhammer animation, and a huge amount more. So we should have plenty to talk about whilst they are getting this pre-order issue back under control. And now onto the big reveal that they showed us today, and that is even more information about the very exciting upcoming Beast Snaggers. Now we've been made aware that the Beast Snaggers like to ride around on squigs and that kind of thing, and they have this very feral cavalry mounted look to them so far based on what we've seen. But if you remember back to the preview that we saw when they first initially previewed these guys, it was clear that there were some new units that also appeared in that preview that appeared to be on foot. And so a lot of us were of the opinion, I think, that perhaps this heralded some new Ork infantry models on the way as well. And by God, it looks like Gork and Mork have heard our prayers. That's right, there are some new Ork Boys coming. In particular, as you can see right now, the Beast Snagga Boys, and oh my god, these guys look absolutely bloody fantastic. The pose and the proportions and the definition on this guy is just so much better than the current boys that we have, which, if we're being completely honest, do have that issue of being slightly hunched over and, I mean, let's not beat around the bush, very fat-assed. This guy just looks so much meaner and meatier and a lot less comical in a way. It definitely has that more serious look to his face. It's definitely a more grim, dark tone compared to the current boys line, and I for one am a huge fan of that. And now before we go any further, don't get me wrong, I love the crazy, zany, over-the-top current range that Orks have, but if we can have both of these, and you know, you can make a choice of whether you want to go for the slightly more crazy, insane, speed freak style buggies, or these more serious looking infantry models, you can, or you can mix them together. And certainly I think with the Beast Snaggers, you know, they're riding around on giant squigs, they do have that semi-comical tone about them as well, but they do look like they can do a slightly more serious looking Ork force if you want to. So I do think that if you can mix these together, which it seems like you can, and have some Ork Boys that look like this mixed in with some of the vehicles that look a bit funnier for the Orks, you can make a really cool, interesting and unique looking force. The article gives us some very juicy information as well, stating that these guys are larger and stronger than regular boys, although not quite as durable as a knob, but they are able to swing a chopper just as hard. Now this makes me think that they are going to probably keep the toughness 4 of a regular boy, but probably be swinging at the strength 5 of a knob. And now this is not a bad little profile for a unit which, let's be honest, looks like it wants to get into melee pretty quickly. And again, what I like is that it mentions that these guys will fit in nicely with any culture. Although they do have that traditional snake bites look, they can be slotted into any culture that you want, so this will be very good to me. I will definitely be adding a lot of these to my Death Skulls. The article also states that the Beast Snagga docks are more creative than most. So that also leads me to think that we might be getting some new Beast Snagga Pain Boys who may do something different to the current Pain Boys that we have, which pretty much just give you a 6-up shrug at the moment. So there may be some new rules interactions as well as another new Pain Boy model coming in the near future as well. But I just want to go back. I cannot get enough of this model. He looks so damn cool. I love the creature skin across the back and the loincloth, his shoulders. He looks very imposing and powerful, and the face has got so much detail on it. It does look like he is still toting a slugger and a chopper, so I imagine that overall the gear of these new Beast Snagga boys will be largely the same as the regular boys, although I wouldn't be surprised if they have a slightly higher focus on melee compared to shooting. Not that they won't be able to take shooters, but I imagine that if you get a full squad of 30 of these, being at strength 5 in melee, and probably having maybe 3 or 4 attacks on the charge, so maybe one more than a regular Ork Boy to showcase that they are bigger and stronger than regular boys. These are going to do a huge amount of work, a huge amount of damage to anything they touch in melee. So I really think that kitting these guys out in, slugger chopper configuration is going to make a really terrifying close combat unit for your orcs. As the article states, while they're not quite as durable as a Nob, I do think that means if we compare them to the current Nob profile, which is toughness 4, 2 wounds and a 4-up save, maybe these guys will be toughness 4, 2 wounds and keep the regular 6-up save of the normal boy. I wouldn't be surprised with these guys getting 2 wounds. It would still make them less durable than a Nob because their armor save will be much worse, but toughness 4 and 2 wounds, I mean, these guys look like they should be that. He is so big and hefty and chunky. Another thing to think about is that they do mention these Beast Snaggers docs and how the Beast Snaggers get a lot more injuries and a lot more frequent injuries because they are handling, squigs all day long. So these guys have got some more creative methods of healing the boys back up. So maybe they will be toughness 4 and keep their 1 wound, but have something like a 6-up shrug all the time to give them something different compared to a regular boy, which still keeps them slightly less durable than a Nob. I mean, who knows? It really is going to be exciting to see what these guys get rules-wise, but just based on the image alone, I'm going to throw my hat in with toughness 4, 2 wounds, and a 6-up save. I think that will give them a good little in-between profile of the Nobs and the boys, and also let them fill a unique role in your Orc force if you want to take them. So I am very, very, very excited about the Beast Snaggers, if you can't tell. And I loved the 2 images that we had seen for them already, but now that we know we're getting an infantry side to the force as well, I think this is going to be a much bigger release than a lot of us thought. I think there's going to be a new Pain Boy, a load of new cavalry models, some new squigs, these new boys, a new war boss, which we saw in the preview, maybe even some new kind of custom kit-bashed semi-vehicles that aren't quite the vehicles that we know from regular Ork. I don't know. I really, really, really don't know, but I am so hyped to get some more news for the Beast Snaggers as we go along. So what do you think of this model, and what do you think his rules are going to be like if he is somewhere between a regular boy and a Nob? Do you think I'm correct in my assessment above, or do you think he's going to be something completely different? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more Warhammer content from me, but until next time, I will catch you later, guys.